Holy catfish.
Giggity.
Welcome in, everyone. It is a good evening to be together on the Holy Catfish, a Seattle football podcast. I'm Daniel McCafferty. Beside me is Casey Wilson.
Bing, bang, bong.
Niner gang. And Nathan Jacobson.
You're gonna die.
Oh, man, I know. Wreck 'em.
We have so much to talk about.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It is January 23rd, 2026.
Which is 2 days before
the Seattle Seahawks NFC West Championship, where they are facing
the
St.
Lambs?
Louis Rams.
The St. Louis Lambs. Yeah. So this is going to be a good time. We got a lot to catch up on, though.
12
any
years.
fun stories for 12 years.
12 years a slave.
It's been since 12 years ago that we've caught up for the NFC Championship game. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I cannot believe this. I'm so hyped. It doesn't feel real. Real. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But
I love it.
Yeah.
Get ahead.
I love it.
We did that last week. It worked out very well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason not to get ahead. Go on.
Go on. 41-6. Go on.
Goodness.
I've never heard of that before. Continue.
What was the experience like at the game? Season ticket holder.
This
Nathan over
was
here.
a dream. This was the vision. 2011, 12 is when I first put down my name for season tickets, right? With the thought being to get in within the next couple years during the Pete era, right? Of when they were going to be really good. And that obviously did not happen. But when Russell Wilson got shipped off, I went from 5,000 on that list to
Bye, Felicia.
having tickets. And so did not expect it to happen in 2 years like this with Mike Mack, right? But this is what we've all been waiting for as fans, right? And man, it felt like the Super Bowl. That's like the closest thing for me. It's just like the first play, it was 13 seconds. I looked at that clock and we were already up. So it's like, wow, this is literally my dream. Like I have dreamed for this to happen and it happened. So
Like here comes that hike and Peyton Manning's running backwards and we're all just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what hasn't happened to the Mariners, and it's just not something you ever expect as a sports fan. Like, it's just that kind of craziness you don't expect. And for me, like the Pete Carroll, the Legion of Boom, like that's like a once-in-a-lifetime. And now we're kind of going, I don't know if it was once in a lifetime. We might have a defense that actually rivals them. Like, this is truly a dream, unreal, like just... And who knows, maybe that was our Super Bowl this year. Hopefully not. But, man, what an incredible game to be at.
Well, in between last podcast that just two of us were at, I had a baby, third baby. Not me, but you know what I mean.
What?
You
had a baby?
I look
can
pretty
be done.
good.
Oh my god.
It can be done. So
You look great.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Back into my normal pants. So the big thing
It's the pleats.
is that I actually have to watch. Like I get to watch all the games, which is great, but I have to watch them like on quiet mode, right? So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there and I'm like screaming
Internally.
in a whisper. But it's kind of fun because you're actually doing this like almost national perspective analytical thing, right? While you're
distance.
just absolutely screaming inside.
Well, give yourself some credit, though, because you were at the Bucs game this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
experience that a little bit, and you didn't make it to a game this year, right?
No, we went to the Rams game.
That's right. The Rams.
Yeah.
Oh,
The first?
Yeah.
The best
for
game
some reason.
I've been to in the last 10 years.
The second one.
The second best game, honestly. I mean,
that is the best game.
that
from a
was the
game
best game
perspective
I've
ever been to.
Yeah, it was an incredible
38,
atmosphere.
37.
That was to have the touchdown the 2-point conversion
Multiple
scored
2 points.
right in front of us at the very end. There
Yes.
was pure magic.
Yeah. I mean, so all of us have
beautiful.
gotten a little bit of that puzzle, even if it's looked differently for some of us, right? Obviously, adding a third child does change that a bit. So.
But it's all good. I mean,
Yeah.
and the fun part about watching this experience at home a lot, right, for these last couple of months is there hasn't really been interruptions per se. There's just been watching it with kids as they start going like, who are we rooting for? Right? Who's the team? Right?
Yeah.
Who are the players? And
Yeah.
then after you answer their questions about 5 minutes later, they're off and doing whatever. Right? But like, it's really interesting to get the whole family involved and invested and even the rest of the family that's not into it.
Have your kids ever been swayed by different like team uniforms or
want
colors, or like I like the gold team, I like the purple team?
Now they do
No,
also
you don't.
know because they have so many outfits.
That
right,
team's
that
the
are
same
like,
color as Bluey.
Right. Hey, today we're wearing blue. Today
Yeah.
you're wearing the Seahawks one.
Yeah.
Oh, which one are we?
Yeah.
The blue one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Same with Huskies, right? They know they're wearing purple. So
Well, and they're getting to an age, at least your oldest, right, where she's going to start remembering that stuff. So some of that will be like a core memory of like, yeah, I remember when Daddy went crazy for this one game, and I didn't know it was
and
happening.
they do.
But that kind
yeah.
of stuff, right? If you think back to, I don't know how, your early sports memories. I don't remember how I would have been about 6 years old for the Mariners 95 season.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I remember of just everyone screaming, like not really knowing why this was exciting, but it was really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one. I think tonight we probably go, because we haven't sat down as a whole team in a while. Let's go backwards, then meet up at the current day, and then we'll go forwards. So how did we get here is the kind of leading question.
Yeah.
Which is
by car.
How did the Seahawks?
You drove your own car?
Oh my goodness!
So did Mike.
really
Mac
proud of you.
Daddy.
Mac.
He drove this whole division into
Take a bus?
The bus over
the ground.
How did the Seahawks get from this last kind of quarter of the season into the playoffs?
Yeah.
And how did that impact where we are right now, where everyone's feeling, how everyone's reacting to everything that's happening? I mean, I think, Casey, the guiding question there is more to say, like, what was the experience of the Seahawks fan, and then what was the experience of the Seahawks team that brought them to this point?
Well, it's kind of funny. We look at our expectations on the team after this last year of like 10 wins. That should have been a playoff berth right there. And just the disappointment of like, we are in a good division. Mm-hmm. We're competing against other good teams. And Mac Daddy really had to step it up this year. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, did he. And then we often do the comparisons of like, oh, how's this defense compared to the Legion of Boom? And between these statistics, and it's like, we were even talking about, Coward's top 10 players in this matchup. And we're kind of wondering, why isn't there more Seahawks players in this matchup? It's different than that elite defense we saw 12 years ago that was just dominant, in part because Mike has created this atmosphere of, that's the theme, playing as one. It's not a bunch of these elite players. It's a bunch of good to great players, but they play so well in uniform together. They know the schemes in and out, these different defensive packages between their 4-man and 5-man Russians, like we were speaking about earlier. And they keep getting better. And we usually see teams tank, teams that are looking great, like the Indianapolis Colts for the first 6 to 7 games, and then their quarterback goes down, and all of a sudden you got Phillip Rivers starting for you.
Yep.
But if Sam Darnold went down and we had Drew Lock as a backup for, a remainder of 5 games or so, I would say our defense could hold us in to at least a wild card spot because Mike has created that atmosphere now.
Yep.
So that's how I'm feeling, just watching such an impressive coaching job.
Yeah.
So.
And it's football. My 50th season football just fell into the sink. It's interesting though. That's what's going to happen on Sunday to Matthew Stafford.
Fall into a sink.
Fumble.
But you bring a good point of looking back at the Legion of Boom, right, and then comparing those teams. And the way I would describe those teams under Pete was it was a circus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you had like Snoop Dogg in one week, you had Will Ferrell in the next, like Macklemore was at practice. It was just like insanity.
Yeah.
And some of the like comments from that, fast forwarding to this era, is that like, no, we want to be teachable, like coachable, like the volume of the music goes down because it's like a class is kind of how they described it, right? And so it's like you had Pete Carroll, you had the circus, and he allowed people to just be themselves, their personalities, their egos, they're loud, whatever, like be yourselves.
And
Marshawn
they could
Lynch,
because
Sherman,
they were so good.
And they were so good, right? And the scheme was, I don't know, I'm not a scheme person, but we would say relatively simple. It was like cover 3, like line up and good luck, try and beat us, right? Because you can't. Versus this is like you look at McDonald, almost kind of like a AFC North kind of like what he's brought, right? Where I look at the Ravens and what they've had for decades, right? Going back to Ray Lewis and just some really good teams, and then you look at the Steelers and what they've been doing for decades, right? And the culture they have of just like, yeah, this is how it goes. He's kind of brought the military like mindset. So it's definitely a very different feeling. And yet they are, on some areas, just as good as the Legion of Boom. Now, granted, it's only been a 1 year or since last year, that second half or whatever. So we're so new into this, we don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But it is really interesting to see two teams that look so different and yet have just elite defenses. And you're like, wow, okay.
Well, and I wonder if some of the storylines for Seahawks fans and the team, right, that got us to this point are things that are like acquisitions. Ernest Jones comes in halfway through last season.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He starts to change the defense even then.
Yeah.
But this season, it goes on. He had the full off season.
Yeah.
It starts to really change things. He has the contract. He wants to be here. He's talking about that.
And he's the former Rams guy.
He's the
who
former
brings kind of
Rams
some
player.
of that culture.
Well, and he had the weird storylines around, like, why was he cut or traded
Right,
or
yeah,
moved so quickly, so many
Yeah.
times in a short period. And yet, man, he's been transformational from that
he has.
linebacking core.
Yeah.
And it's not a massive linebacking core because we literally just sit in nickel. So it's not like nickel is our
Jones
base.
and
Yeah.
one other guy,
Right,
whoever.
whoever.
Knight or
Right,
Drake.
Drake.
Thomas,
Drake.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That
talk
guy's a
lot about
gem.
him. He's a gem. But like the undersized linebacker players in a traditional nickel
Yeah.
situation, and he's transformed that.
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Cat, since we got him,
Pivotal.
has changed that defensive front so
Yes.
much. Byron Murphy.
And to come here when Pete was here still,
Yeah.
for Mike to convince him to be like, hey, buy into this because
Yeah.
it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's
And-
true.
And they were able to pay him that contract to get him to stay. And now it's just, wow.
Yeah.
Well, and going back
and-
to that first interview with Mike, where we hear the clips recently, right? The
Yeah.
Seahawks PR has been pushing out, and think about the players who were not in the team this year. Is what I was going to say, right? With the Metcalf and the Smith, those are players that weren't really buying in. And Hasselbeck has famously said on Pete's first day, he came in and he told everyone to stand up and move to like a different seat and be like, we're just going to shake this up. I want to come in with a new mindset. And Hasselbeck didn't say who it was, but he said it was a big name, he had money on the team. He did not stand up and move. And I think it was TJ Hushmanzada, if you remember that guy, the wide receiver, the big contract he had at the time. So I don't know. It is interesting you bring up the Leo stuff, right? With like that's someone who's clearly bought in, where other guys did not buy in, and you can just see the difference of like, no, this is Mike's team now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and some of the carryovers from Pete's teams are interesting.
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen comes to mind as had a great start, terrible middle, came back again, and he's had so many like elite, terrible waves, and yet each time he's bought in, each time he's done his job, it's a little Belichickian, like he performs up to or above those high standards that he can reach.
Yeah.
It's really cool to watch. This end of season, his tackling has just been different.
Yeah.
Right? That's energy, and that's buying into something that Mike Mack is teaching.
Yeah.
And the defense across the board, you could say that with a lot of those acquisitions, because Byron Murphy and Devin Witherspoon are both guys who like came in here with first round pick
JSN as well.
expectations.
Right? Same
JSN
thing.
too. Yeah, from the defensive side to the offensive side, you've got Gray Zabel, right? You've got the new contracts out for Cross and Lucas now. You've got like so much transactionally happening, and it's building this fundamental core.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks awesome with a combination of some key veteran leadership,
Yeah.
right? It's not all rooks on rook contracts. Sam
Cooper
Darnold
Kupp.
is not on that.
Sam
Cooper Kupp is
Darnold.
not on that. Yep.
Marcus Lawrence,
Yep.
right?
D-Law is having a freaking
Best free agent
renaissance. and that is
acquisition.
awesome.
Yeah.
Max Crosby next.
So the idea of like building this whole thing in 2 years, building
Yeah.
it so intentionally, so quickly. I mean, these guys are on board or they're gone. My favorite moment, I think all of our favorite moment from season 1 with Mike Mack was the safeties sucked. And what happened? Even though the safeties and middle linebackers were just not getting it done. And suddenly Rayshon Jenkins is gone after
Yeah.
a contract that was something. right? It was notable.
I mean, both linebackers we cut.
Both linebackers we cut.
within like 4 or 5 games.
Dodson,
something like that.
and
Dodson, yeah.
I mean, it was just like, what happened?
Yeah.
These safety linebacker hybrids, right? Very negative throwback to Jamal Adams kind of stuff was happening. And we were like, is this really what's going to happen? No, they were gone within half a season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's different.
I was pretty critical of John at the time because it's like you just brought in all these dudes and they're gone. Like it did not pan out at all. But I think it's safe to say at this point, looking back, is that this was truly a young head coach who got hired, the latest coach of anyone in that cycle, right? And so it was like, we need guys, we need bodies. Okay, what do we have out there? Who's available? What's a free agent? Okay, let's bring them in, see if they gel. And then Mike very quickly was like, no, I'm not doing this. And he famously said to someone, if it wasn't for your contract, right, I would cut you right now. Yep. So we know he felt strongly, and he had that ability without having roster control. Like that's a big part of it, is that he doesn't have roster control, and yet I do think they work hand in hand. He's at the combine, he's picking out his guys, right? So
Well, and a lot of what Pete Carroll did, right, with a simple defense that allowed you to be yourself, right? You just compete. You play one-on-one, right? You match up with this guy.
Mono on mono.
You come back, right? Yeah, it's the individual fight, and it's about the individual, and it was awesome. I mean, it was so fun to see the elite talent take over. When you had elite talent, right? As soon as the safeties went down, like you saw what the backups couldn't do, right? When the corners started going down, you saw what the corners couldn't do. And a lot of that stuff, those individual matchups start to break down. But now it's like, it's not just the athleticism. It wasn't just the body type. Jenkins especially fit the athleticism and the body type. It's not just the physicality either. It's then the mentality, and not just like the mentality of, am I going to be physical? Am I going to compete? Am I going to play hard? It's now like very cerebral. He's evaluating them and cutting them quickly if they just aren't going to play in his scheme.
Yeah.
Well, that's what surprises me about Reek, too. We were even thinking at the beginning of the season, he might be traded at the middle of this season. Like, he could be a trade target for a lot of different teams that are quarterback
needy.
needy.
May have been, I don't know.
But he played his way out of those conversations.
He did.
And
he was benched for a while there.
He was. Right. And he figured it out. And now it's to a point of like, okay, is he entering his 4th year now?
Yeah, he's either here or he's gone next year.
So he's going to be playing for a contract with us. And it's like, if he plays, and obviously these similar nickel packages, you have him, you have Job, and you have Spoon, all in the top 5 for that their defensive coverages in nickel right now.
And Memorial.
If he stays, and if he stays in coverage like that and stays consistent, would you be willing to pay him a top 10 cornerback contract?
There's a real conversation at least to be had, which is wild.
Which there just wasn't before.
I think we didn't have the discussion at the right time, but man, the secondary was so thinned out. That Bucs game, when we were there, and it was an awesome game. It was so fun. The loss,
all the injuries
to the side, it was so fun.
Yeah.
But man, all those injuries, ultimately, we came out of that going like, you can't really get rid of him now. No. Like, there were multiple points in the season where you're like, even if he was a trade candidate before, even if he's not doing great, man, he's got to play. You need him. Yeah. And he knows the system at least, and he knows the assignments, and he knows he's got to step up, and somehow all that pressure, all that opportunity turned into this. I mean, a discussion of, do you keep him? And like, do you actually pay him? Because he's the elite talent. He's the elite body.
Physically,
he can
he
be
is.
physical.
The length and the speed.
Yes.
And that's going to be, does he buy into Mike Mack's system? Does he play within it?
Well, we could go into the topic briefly of, the amount of cap space we have next year, which is what, in the top 5 of the league right now? I think we're over 60 million.
Yeah, we're pushing it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think if we get into the hypotheticals though, we're gonna play this offseason a little bit. We'll tag that for sure. But man, thinking of all those storylines of how far we've come is pretty wild. Specifically, though, Casey, because you weren't here the last time, pulling in a little bit of your, these last couple of weeks now leading up to now, we've had injuries. This is finally the opportunity to ask you about some of this stuff, right? So just talk to us about state of roster.
What is an oblique?
What is an oblique? Well, honestly, they've played it really smart with Darnold, kind of limiting, the unnecessary practices or unnecessary reps, especially like the walkthrough last week before the 49ers game. It's the most cake walkthrough probably they've done probably all season. Darnold doesn't need to throw anything at that point. Now, whether it really was just like a true strain, like that's kind of the one that's the thing that they throw out there. But whether it was that or just like this twinge or spasm that just got aggravated for a few days, but he's still on the report. The big thing with him is what we call the X factor, kind of the separation between the hips and the torso. You have your factor of kind of that rotation through the torso before kind of that cocking phase and release phase. That's going to aggravate that left side of the oblique. And then you have your play action where you have your bootlegs to the left, to the outside where maybe he's doing a bootleg to the left. That turning, that rotation to that side, his oblique has to kind of stay stable and help his torso feel stable. So if he's feeling good with those kind of movements, which he said today, like he feels great, like I don't have any, lack of confidence in how he's going to play or feel. So
see, that's good news.
Yeah.
A lot of the oblique thing, the fans start to worry about, can he throw? Can he make the throws? Right.
Yeah.
A couple of people had observed, and I'm not certain whether or not it's tangible, had observed on Sunday, this against the Niners, even though he was making the throws, they looked strained.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you caught that as well or whether that was you're in agreement or not.
I think he was getting beat up especially in the first half. He fell on a ball, like on that side. I don't know if you guys saw one of those plays. It was, I think, towards our red zone. He fell on a ball, and I'm like, I would probably hurt already, that area too.
Sore.
So he was kind of playing a little bit, getting beaten up there. But no, I think with how, the athletic training staff kind of walked him through and prepared him and prepped him, because eventually it's going to come to a point, whether it's, this week and hopefully they get to the Super Bowl, there's going to be moments in the game where it depends on Sam Darnold to make a throw, to make these plays. We're not going to be able to cakewalk these teams like we did the 49ers, which we knew we would slap them. But it's going to come down to the JSN Darnold connection. And I feel confident that Darnold can do that.
Okay. That's good news. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
The other big ones, I think, were the left tackle conversation.
Yes.
Because we
Left
know
tackles.
now
All of them.
that Charles Cross is cleared and able to go.
Yep.
But we don't know if he has any lingering impact. And we know that Josh Jones is good to go. Or
questionable.
he's questionable.
He's questionable.
And Amari Kite is
Doubtful.
Okay, so probably 1 and 2 with an emergency third.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to see Jones in there. I mean, that would be great to have him as a backup. He's just been having the ankle and knee issues. Don't know too many specifics on that. Obviously, Cross had the hamstring strain, which he had plenty of time to be able to get back, usually that 4 to 6 week mark. And he was right in that window to be able to come back for the first playoff game. But it seems like it's a foot issue now, whether he was stepped on. But he's, again, the staff's playing it well. They've held him out the last couple practices. I have a feeling he's just, going through the walkthrough. He knows his game plan. He's played the Rams twice already. He has the level of confidence to be like, all right, I can go out there and perform. So,
well, and to me, the real positive sign was Arroyo was activated last week.
Yeah.
And he practiced all last week, and I fully expected him to play. I think they wanted him to play. He's another weapon, right? So he was healthy. He was good to go. Full participant, right? And then he was not active on game day, and it's because specifically of that O-line situation, right? So he wasn't able to get in the game last week simply because of injuries. So to me, him being active for this game was a real positive sign. It's like, okay,
yeah,
I think we're going to be okay at left tackle, and just O-line in general. Like, we can activate the non-blocking tight end who's truly just a receiving weapon at this point, and good sign. That's a good sign. It's not
huge.
that we definitely are oddly not as healthy as the Rams from, at least on the injury report, although I'd still say they have played one more game, and Stafford's finger, something's clearly off with Stafford physically, in my opinion. Other than just saying he's regressed as a quarterback, which is not something an MVP level in McVay's offense in the most important time does, right? I mean, he's technically facing tougher defenses, but he faced the Bears defense, which played him really tough, but it was not a great defense.
Well, and the Panthers defense isn't great either.
And the Panthers defense also is not. So he's faced the two easiest games he could have, in my opinion. And has not been great.
So as a reminder, we refer to Casey because he works with athletes so frequently, and military personnel and things like that. So the question within here is more along the lines of, as we look at the current injury report, the other guy who just got brought back was George Halani, which is suddenly fortunate.
Very
because my favorite person to watch on the field, Zach Charbonnet, is just
he's gone.
Another ACL. So
such a bummer. He was running so well. Having that 1-2 combination was great. But I do have a lot of, maybe it's just the Seahawks like preseason hero that Halani has been for a couple of seasons, where he's always got that preseason hype, and he did have an injury which took him out for the whole year. So who knows how he would have been used. Hawk blogger Brian Nimhauser, right? He has suspected that he's been healthy for about a month, and they just have literally not had the roster space, which shows how deep they are, right? And if they activate him, and then he goes to the practice squad, then another team probably picks him up. So just having him sit in the IR was probably easier. So really lucky actually to have what I would say is a very good back who knows our system as well as any back, right?
That's huge.
Definitely trust him a lot more than Cam Akers or
the
starts with the V. I can't remember.
Bayless Jones,
Jones,
who's more of a wide receiver, running back kind of combo in between someone.
So that's a good sign to have Halani and Arroyo back, which are both weapons the Rams have not seen. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm excited. I'm still a little wondering, and I'll keep the caution going just because my brain works that way.
You love a warm glass of Chardonnay.
I love a warm glass of Chardonnay.
So fine.
Any other notes from that injury report, though?
It's great to see Josh Jones was a full participant today, so he's going to be in that backup spot. And I think if both of them are healthy going into the Super Bowl, I think we're going to be solid no matter what.
You said going into the Super Bowl.
I know.
What are you implying?
I'm implying I'm very confident about this weekend now that we have two starting left tackles.
Well, should we pivot to that? Should we start talking about
very
what's ahead
confident
of us?
mean?
It means that...
Give a percentage.
Give a percentage.
Yep, because we've given ours. Well,
I'm going to give 80%.
80%.
80%. Okay,
confidence is 80%.
Confidence is 80%.
Yeah, I'm still going to say 65.
I will say one other thing, though, and this was kind of a topic back on like the Sam Darnold injury. Obliques are very easily aggravated. And so people are arguing kind of the fact.
Nope.
Yeah. No.
Don't talk to me about that. Don't want to hear it.
That being said, obviously, he got through last week's game. Yep. He's doing well this week. People were arguing, well, why isn't Drew Lock getting more reps at practice? And I was listening to an interview with Mike Holmgren on KJR, and it was just kind of fascinating to kind of compare Drew Lock to like the Stidham situation, where it's like Drew Lock has had more frequent reps in the NFL. Even if you gave him an extra 5, 10, 15 reps at practice, a Tiger doesn't really change his stripes at this point in his career. Versus now you have a guy, Stidham, who hasn't taken an NFL snap in 3 years, I believe. And obviously he has to know that system, but I'm more confident in the fact that even if Darnold did aggravate something, they have a system in place with Locke that they're comfortable with. So I'm at 80%, even with kind of this injury stuff up in the air.
Interesting.
That's an interesting percentage. You said 65. Yeah, and I'm somewhere in the 60 to 65 range. I don't think I'm quite at that 2/3 mark. So as we say, I'm not certain there's much to take away from the 49ers game besides we knew we were blowing them out. We were going to win.
Yeah.
They were too beat up. We had all talked about it in our threads, our chains, our stuff.
Shanahan.
There was high confidence. That 80% you're feeling, I think everyone would have felt 90%. Like it would have been very surprising.
There was a path forward for them to win, and it was if they controlled time possession, they shortened the game, they ran the ball effectively.
And they got no more major injuries.
Yeah, no injuries, and they limit our possessions. Like that, that could have happened. But again,
it wasn't going to happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. And so the 41-6 blowout was there. I think that was a little surprising, but it was very exciting to see.
And it was beautiful.
And it was beautiful. And it should have happened.
Yeah.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yep.
Niner game.
Yep.
This Rams game is not that one.
No.
It's not. And so the stress that all Seahawks fans are suddenly feeling today and this weekend and this whole week, right? Because today's Friday, the game's on Sunday. I mean, We're talking about it 2 days
I
before
had a
it
little
happens.
throw up just come up into my esophagus.
Yeah. Despite feeling more than halfway confident, despite feeling very confident, despite feeling like this is not a 50-50 coin flip, we have the better roster
We do.
in many respects.
We do.
It's
Will it matter?
hard. Will it matter?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard for any of us to look at the McVay-McDonald matchup so far and say that McDonald has owned McVay. That's not
He
true.
Hasn't. Yeah.
Stafford has had good games.
Hasn't been sacked.
He hasn't really been sacked, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So, like, where do we go from here? Because normally we'd say if you have a great head coach, elite head coach, if you have a great OC or an elite OC, and if you have a great quarterback, elite quarterback, somewhere in that zone, you're always dangerous.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what else happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's dangerous.
That
And so,
combo.
kind of how do you get to 80%?
So this is I'm going to come at it from the 20% where I do feel nervous about. I feel like the team standpoints obviously are coming from the same ends of both defenses have to stop the run game. Obviously, they need to shut down Ken Walker. Ken Walker is at a point where if I'm the playoff savior here, I could get big money. And obviously he's playing more for the team, but this is an opportunity for him to show out.
Absolutely.
And so that is probably their number one priority, to put the game in Sam Darnold's hands.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that makes me nervous. That's that 20% versus we do need to stop the run game for the Rams, but then we put the game in Stafford's hands. And that's a little bit more hairier because Stafford can take control of games and he knows how to do it well. He knows, I mean, we saw in the second half of that second Rams and Seahawks game, he knew when to make smart throws and when to not. And he knew when pressure was in his face and to throw it away or take the check down. And he was taking the check down often. And it was frustrating because they kept moving the ball well. Even when we adjusted to the run. So that's that 20% I'm nervous about is if they shut down Kenneth Walker, it is on Darnold and he's got to make his throws. It's down to him and JSN.
Well, and they're built so that's why I would say we don't match up well with them is because they completely shut down our D-line for most of that game, right? Still didn't sack him. So our D-line, which is great, is not getting pressure and not stopping the run. Okay, well, that's a problem. And then on the flip side, our O-line, right, against their D-line, and that's what's so tough is because the Rams, they have clear weaknesses in the passing defense, right? Like we know that, and yet it seems like that's so far been negated by Darnold being, I don't know if it's confused by the scheme or like I don't study it that well to know, but for whatever reason, that should be a clear advantage for us in the passing defense. And it hasn't. So I'm very curious to see if that actually is something we can take advantage of. It's reasons why as Seahawks fans you are nervous because it's like, okay, well, if they have Stafford and we can't get pressure on him because their O-line is also very good.
Yes.
He's going to carve you up, and it doesn't matter how good our D-line is if it's not. That's our strength. So if he's going to throw against our corners who are very good, but they have Puka and Devontae who are better, right? That's a problem. So that's for me where, 20% plus a little more because it's like, this is, I wouldn't say it's a narrow path for the Rams to victory. Like it is, it's a tough path. Like they have to win away multiple times.
Yes.
But again, they played the Panthers and the Bears. Like that is, of the teams they could have played against, probably the easiest matchups they could have hoped for.
Didn't play well. And that's what I'm getting back to. It's like, we have such a better pass defense. We have a better rush defense.
And we've been playing better too.
And it's just been, it feels like almost exponential after that second game. Like it felt like the doors were open. Like, wow, we have first place. Wow, we control our destiny. And Mike took hold of that by the neck. And versus the Rams are like confused. They fire their special teams coordinator right after that game. Rashid Shaheed blows open games that we see in big games. Like that's an X factor that I don't think the Rams have personally.
Talk about the road to getting here.
Exactly.
4th and 5th round pick, a couple of day 3 picks in a weak draft class.
Yes.
For that dude
Yes.
who is wrecking.
Where
guys.
would the Seahawks be without him this season?
They would have lost against the Rams.
They would have lost against the Rams.
We would have, I mean,
we would have beat the 49ers, but it would have been a lot closer.
It would have probably been closer.
Because there was moments in that game where it was 6-17 or 16, whatever. Yeah. And they were kind of driving a little bit, and I was like, if the 49ers score, like, this is a game. And then, they fumbled the ball and it was fine. But still, like, you don't have that like automatic 7 free points almost of just like,
Well, and the massive momentum shift and the mentality
putting the defense on,
and the fan
crowd was
shift.
Wild. Yep. Yes, absolutely.
I'm curious to see like the adjustments the Rams do make. The Rams are going to play very conservative on special teams, I believe. But how they
kick it away from him.
Exactly. And they were trying to do that during the game, but when we put them in these short yardage situations, which hopefully our defense continues to do, especially that's what happened in the second half. Our defense was able to pin them in their own not in their own red zone, but in their own area of the field to where, he can return this ball.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's, if we can just get a few of those opportunities where Shaheed can get it into their 40-yard, 30, just create that short field. Mm-hmm. We have a chance. And again, like you pointed out, their pass defense is not the greatest. We just need to get rid of the ball quickly.
The Bears, I'm blanking on the returner's name. Doesn't remember off the top of the head. The Bears have a very good returner.
They do.
And he did not break one for a touchdown, but he got up to the 40-yard line several times, and it looked close. Yeah. Because I was watching. Yeah. You guys watch those playoff? I was watching them very closely because I'm like, this is an opportunity for the Seahawks. So I want to know the
those
other
are
teams.
huge. As a complete pause and break from those elements. In 5 or 10 minutes, we are trying a brand new whiskey none of us have ever tried. The Knob Creek 18-year single barrel.
Vader approves.
Vader approved.
Leonard Williams. What's happened this last week? As well, we've not even mentioned it, but the Seahawks are the dark side, right? That is who they are at this point.
The dark side defense.
They are the dark side defense. They are the dark side of the force. A path that many consider unnatural. And so Big Cat was like, I'd love to see more Vader masks in the stand. I'd love to see that more, basically. And I was like, yep, I got you. This is happening. So the mask you see behind, while it was $125 on Amazon, I will say that. So not cheap. I also did not know it was a 1-for-1 remake of the actual Vader mask, which is approximately a third of my body. You should have seen it on my 5th grade students today. But
that's a pretty big mask.
It's a giant mask. And
big.
we think that mask is big. Just
and thick.
Wait till game day and that mask will remain
We're going to
big.
see a lot of great pictures.
I look forward to it. So in 5 or 10 minutes, we'll do that after our preview here. But essentially, we know that Mike Mack's defense is similar in one way to Carroll and similar in another way to McVay, which is super interesting, right? It's similar to
come together.
It's similar to Pete Carroll in that there's a simplicity. There's a super simple simplicity, right? And that is the same personnel grouping. It doesn't matter who you're up against, right? The same players are on the field.
Yeah.
Like they essentially don't
They run
swap.
a nickel.
Yep. They run nickel.
Just
Emanwari is on the field. He's sometimes a linebacker, sometimes a safety, sometimes a corner. It doesn't matter. Sometimes he's a pass rusher.
Yep.
Right? Like when they show pressure, they bring pressure.
Yeah.
Like that's how that works. The thing with the McVay similarity is that it's much more everything looks the same anyways. But you never really know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The clinic that Mike Mack put on semi-recently, within the last year or two, was really about how he says when you show pressure from the right, bring pressure from the left. When you show pressure from the left, bring pressure from the right. When you show pressure from the outside, bring pressure from the inside. When you show pressure, right? Like it's always, you bring pressure.
Yeah.
From the opposite side of whatever you're trying to do. And yet
then
they have to account for the other thing. And the pressure doesn't have to be a blitz.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's weird, is that they always bring pressure.
Yes.
When they show pressure.
How much?
But it's never, it doesn't have to be an extra man.
Yeah.
It can be 4.
Yes.
But sometimes it's a safety, a linebacker, a defensive end, and a defensive tackle.
Yep.
How much
That's
did
the
we
4.
talk about over the last 5 years before Mike was coach? Our 4 needed to beat that other team's 5, or vice versa. Like our O-line, our 5 need to beat their 4 in pressure packages. And it just seemed like for years, neither lines that we had could do that. We were going off of what was it, Christmas? D-tackle Christmas and
Oh,
Puna
yeah, DeMarcus
and-
Christmas.
Oh, my gosh. Just adding these guys that,
36-year-old Al Woods.
like, you're showing pressure? I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
Versus Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy and D-Law and Uchenna. Uchenna's like the weak one on that.
Chenna and Boye Mafe and Derek
And
Hall
yeah.
and keep going.
It's like you have guys, you have dudes that can now, like, that dude's a threat. That dude's a threat that can get to the passer.
So
which is
each
how
of-
it was built in 2013.
Yes.
That was
each of those
throwing...
players has over a 20% rush success
Yes.
rate, pressure success rate in this last game. Super exciting because the Texans are doing the equal and opposite, right? They're never showing pressure.
Which is crazy.
They
I'm
are
so glad they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
this year.
also.
Did not want to face
What
them.
happened
I
to
didn't
Stroud?
like-
Oh my
poor Stroud.
goodness.
I love
That would have been a
bad for him.
weird
So
Super
sad
Bowl.
for
It
him.
would have been like 10-7.
Yeah, it
that
would
would've
have.
been
It would have.
So they win by just having 4 beat 5
Yep.
because their 4 are better than your 5 no matter what
They
you
have
do.
Will Anderson.
It does not matter.
Yeah, they just...
Will Anderson right?
Yeah.
Like they've got just dudes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is all it is. We have dudes, but we're winning 4 versus 5 because you just don't know which 4 it is.
Well, and again, I
It's
say...
the same 4 or it's different 4.
Yes.
We don't know.
It's a simulated pressure. If there's one reason to be really excited for this game, if you want to be like, I'm all in on the Seahawks winning, it is that rotation we have, that healthy rotation we have, and the amount of snaps that our defense and our team took literally 50% less snaps than the Rams
fantastic.
did last week. So that's like 2 games matched up. They're playing our game, same weekend or whatever.
Extra day of rest.
Extra day of rest, but they literally took twice as many
Yeah.
snaps, right? And with the overtime, so you add that in. Then you add in that they played another game. Yeah. And Sean McVay's been saying he's trying to spin it. He's like, "This is scars. This is a good thing. We're building calluses. All that." And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're building like character. Like you keep winning these tough games, so like that is true. But I'm also like, this is a physical sport. Professional athletes trying to play at their best. And I got to think, again, if we keep that game close into the third and fourth quarter, I think that's where we can finally pull away just because we're healthier.
I
We're
like
more
to
rested.
think
We're
of
younger.
this, that we are younger.
We are younger.
Matthew
That's big.
Stafford.
I like to think
I've
of
got a
this
bad back.
as
I know what that's like.
I do predict that we will sack Stafford this game. I think we will hit home, and I think once that happens, I think there's going to be a little bit of a different Stafford that we see. If we can hit him multiple times during the game.
So I like to think of this as that meme of the Lord, stop giving me your toughest battles. And that's the Rams.
Yes.
And Jesus is like, I gave you the Panthers and the Bears. Like, what do you want me to do? You struggled against those guys. Which would be awesome if that's the case, is that it then comes to this.
Yeah.
And that's actually the tough battle for them. And it's clear, and there's a difference, and the roster makes a difference, and the defense is there. And there's the final hesitation I think we all have or have to have is that there's one connection that we have had no success stopping yet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any evidence that we have stopped it.
Yeah.
And it's Stafford to Puka.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
don't
McVay,
have
that
any
triangle.
evidence that we are able to stop that unless literally the game plan is like, let them deal with that in the middle.
Yeah.
Let them have the intermediate short stuff when they're just moving the chains. And then, like, that's going to get naturally smaller as we get closer to the red zone. Except Puka is also just that effective.
Well, they have
in the
Devontae
red
Adams,
zone.
who's
And
really
they have
good in
Devontae
the red
Adams.
zone, too. So
I mean, both Devontae and Puka's contested catch rates are amazing. Puka's alone, and he's just great in zone. And right now with our nickel defense, like he eats that up at times with over 200 receiving yards. I mean, granted, we went in overtime, but still.
yeah, 225. No, we're the NFC Championship teams for a reason,
Yes.
right? This is the best of what's left from the NFC, and you can really state that. So it's like they're going to give us problems. But again, I think the positive side of me looks and says, okay, people are going to knock us down from being like, oh, you beat the 49ers like twice. Like the last 2 games you played, you destroyed the 49ers. They're not that good. I don't know if that's true. The
Yeah.
49ers had 12 wins, even broken and beaten or whatever.
The best division in probably the last 10 years.
Yes, and they have and they did not lose. I mean, they
beat the Eagles.
1-1 against us, 1-1 against the Rams. They beat the Eagles, which again,
Eagles fly.
They had dysfunction, right? That roster had, for whatever reason, the coordinators.
Talent.
But they had talent and they had physical players.
Yes.
So that
linebacker Winners. Oh my gosh, that guy was everywhere during the game.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, I was impressed at how hard in the effort level that he was playing with, even into the end of the game.
The 49ers clearly won that game,
Yeah.
and then come to Seattle and get obliterated.
Yes.
And then you look at the Rams, and again, we beat the Panthers. The Panthers were, for whatever reason, a tough out. I mean, they barely beat the Panthers. That game, 5 lead changes in the last 5 minutes or something ridiculous, right? So that literally was the definition of a coin toss. And then I don't know if the Bears game was necessarily a coin toss, and yet it also was, because it literally went into overtime. And it's like, well, at that point, it kind of is, Yeah. And so that's how the Rams played the Panthers, was like a coin toss, I would argue. The Bears was close to that. And then the last time we played them at home on 4 days, which they had 4 days as well, so it goes both ways. But that was a coin toss game as well. And I just don't think with the extra rest and what Mike has been, preparing, and how he's, in the short history the 2 years of him, he's done very well when he's had to play a team a second or a third, well, only a second time, haven't been the playoffs.
Yep.
But
So there is a part of us, though, that looks at the national perspective on this, because we are the fans watching this, and starts to say, I'm more comfortable as an underdog. I don't really like when everyone in the cast of Good Morning Football or whatever says, the Seahawks are clearly going to sweep.
Nope.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I don't like seeing the
I don't want the
line
Rams
favor
to
us
see
by
that.
2.5 or more. I'm fine actually with 2.5. 2.5 is
that's
fine.
almost neutral.
But if you go 3 and more, I'm starting to get a little I don't know. I think it'll be tight. I think we'll win.
Yeah.
But it should be tight. And a lot of those things get into it. I feel better when people undervalue us for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I feel way better when Coward can't figure out that Leo Williams
And Murphy.
or DeMarcus Lawrence or Byron Murphy
Or Ernest
any of
Jones.
or Ernest Jones or anyone
all those
is
guys
better
should
than
be all pro. Yep.
some of these dudes on his top 10 players in the
How does
matchup list.
AJ Barner get a nod? When he's a leading tight end block. He's the best one of the best blockers at tight end.
He's one of our most important weapons.
But
on
how
our
does
love
he
Barner.
get? How does he become an all-pro? And not any of these defensive guys we're listing. It's crazy,
right.
especially Byron Murphy.
I feel better also when you get guys, not just Cowherd,
Yes.
but others who start to talk about the storylines who are the 49ers are kind of beat up. They didn't really play anyone. And
That
you're
was not what
you
was
mean the
being said.
14-3 team and then the other 14-3 team where you were Seattle's going to lose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and you
Come
should
on,
have
everyone.
seen Twitter the week before the Seahawks played the 49ers. I was a keyboard warrior that week.
you were.
It was
you were
tough
a troll.
business. I was rage baiting very effectively. And,
Believe that.
but it was active. 49ers were we're going to win this game. That was fully the belief. And I don't feel that confidence from the Rams fans. It's not the same at all. And I'm like,
This
you
isn't
guys
a bravado game, though.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
these two coaches are incredible.
Yeah.
These two teams are clearly
It's
the best
NFC
teams.
championship.
We knew it would. This feels inevitable.
It didn't feel. It did.
It
did.
absolutely felt. And
Either we were going to play the Rams this last round, or we were going to play them in the NFC Championship. But it's poetic too in a way. We're in the best division. We still play the 49ers, who again beat the Eagles, the last year's Super Bowl champs. They're not a bad team, even
No,
when
they're
injured.
very
They're
good team.
and they're very well coached too.
yeah.
And so it's
And there was a lot of discussion that week, right, when we were waiting to see who would win and how it would just shake up. What team you wanted to face first,
Yes.
right? And there's a couple guys. I think it was a minority, but there was a couple guys, and I basically agreed with them. Was you want to face the Rams now. You want to face them when you've had a healthy week,
Yep.
when they've seen none of your scheme whatever is going on, And I think that's true because look at what we did to the 49ers. I mean, we really demolished them in 3 quarters. And I do feel, how would it feel or look right now if we had beaten the Rams in probably a close game in the divisional round, and then we had the 49ers. The 49ers beat the Bears, right? Or something, however that worked, right? Yeah. We had the 49ers in the championship round. I mean, it would just be like the party has almost begun. Yeah. Like, this is going to truly be the sweetest way to win. And now I'm like, you know what? I hate the Rams so much. Their fans are not as annoying as the 49ers, but like there's a good chance we also don't win this game. And I have to reconcile with that and just be like, oh, because whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl. Yep. Like, I don't know if you feel that way as strongly as I
feel confident that, most likely whoever wins this game. Yeah. But I don't think it's a gimme as much.
I do. Yeah, this is. It feels
I feel
like
more.
40...
I feel more confident in the Seahawks than I do the Rams. Let's just say that.
I feel confident either team is just going to win that Super Bowl.
Not that it has any bearing on this stuff, but I'll try to put a capper on our Super Bowl specific conversation because I am a little careful here on some of this.
Superstitious.
I am a little well.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little suspicious. No, I'm very careful about that too.
Can I say one thing, though?
Yeah, please.
The utmost reason that I love where my confidence level is at is because of Mike McDonald. Again, he's not very open about many things. He's not open about the injuries. He's not open about really how his game planning during the week, even in a broad detail, goes. One thing he is open about is his openness about change and his effectiveness to like change how he coaches. And he was open to like, I gave the defense too much in that last game. When I
do love that.
He's so open about self-reflection in the way he coaches, and he changes that. And I'd rather have a coach die on that hill than have some coach that's just, one way or the other with how he wants to keep players depending on his view of them, not looking at Pete, but like he's willing to make those changes, and we see the effect of that because he believes in these players making those changes. And I think that's why we're going to win.
I love that. I mean, legitimately, there are reasons to believe that. The AFC discussion we're going to have is very, very short, but it is going to be Nathan and Casey. Nathan, Patriots and Broncos. Do the Broncos with a backup quarterback have a chance?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the outcome, the score of that game is?
For the Patriots Broncos, it's going to be like 17-13 Patriots.
Okay. Casey, do they have a chance? Do Broncos have a chance with a backup quarterback?
I think they barely have a chance.
Okay. 10% chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the outcome? What's the score?
27-13.
All right, ooh, Patriots. Okay. So, got it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go kind of splitting the difference here. I really think that the Broncos have a much better chance than anyone gives them. I do not have any belief in Jarrett Stidham. I have a lot of belief that Sean Payton, though not a Hall of Fame coach, is very good and is an offensive coordinator and a head coach at the same time, which is the massive benefit when you have an entire week. Plus, they have a pretty good defense.
And the Patriots, with the best quarterback of all time, never went there and won a game in the playoffs.
There you go.
Right? They never beat the Broncos. So
I think
it'd be
Patriots
historic
win.
if the Patriots win. It would.
I think the Patriots win, but
you think it'll be closer?
I think it's 27-24.
I think
standard.
A week is too short a time for Stidham to just be in charge like that, and like they would let him really truly take charge. But
so how a lot of quarterbacks who are backups are there for like a year or two and then they're off.
Yeah.
Peyton has specifically overpaid him for 3 straight years.
Yes.
So I'm not certain it's a week. I'm kind of more like he's got 3 seasons with Peyton. He gets Peyton. So
he knows the offense, but again, he doesn't have the reps.
Right.
So that's
that's
a definition of
that's what I look
right?
to personally.
Even that is a little bit of like, I don't know how much he needs if he's just playing a horizontal game.
Well, what did John Clayton, right? The historic John Clayton used to always say about backup quarterbacks. If they win 50% of their games, they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Like that's what you hope for. So I would say Broncos, I would say the best they have is a 50-50.
Who's a better quarterback?
Agree.
Jarrett Stidham or CJ Stroud?
The only reason it's a pause, and the only reason it's a pause, is because Stroud has now had not just one meltdown on national TV in the playoffs, but his worst games. I love Stroud. Stroud is so fun.
I do too. I want him to succeed.
I
so
want him
bad.
to
I
succeed.
liked him. That was like my biggest beef with John Schneider was like we managed to get a nickel cornerback in the year that the Texans
And yet
took
Stroud is just
a blue chip pass rusher and
I mean,
a
it is
franchise
not
quarterback.
the same as his rookie year for multiple seasons, and his postseason appearances are terrible, and it's just rough.
He might be another quarterback that flames out with his first franchise, right? And ends up bouncing around a little bit, and then, as a 28-year-old, lands with the Ravens and does very well.
Well, here's my least favorite storyline. I'll give it to you just to create some hate here because I think we need some more. I think he ends up like running out his contract, no fifth year or something.
Yeah.
With the Texans and ends up on the Rams.
Now,
right after.
I'll hate him then.
Yeah.
So.
I give it to, the Texans. They have a younger coaching staff. And like you said, Sean Payton, he is an offensive coordinator at heart. CJ Stroud threw 4 picks in the first half against that Patriots defense. And if we truly
I don't think that's anything about the Patriots defense. I think that is 0%.
I think you could attribute it a little bit.
I think it's a little
give
bit
them
the Patriots
one
defense,
of the
but it
4
is.
picks.
But again, if
It
we go
is
back to
mostly
who's
Stroud.
I
better,
will give them one of the
Stroud
4.
or Stidham.
It's Stidham. It's Stidham.
You think Stidham
At
is-
this point, the rookie season
Who
has
would
been
who would I bet money on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Stidham because Stroud is broken.
Yeah.
He is. Can he be rehabilitated and all that? Yeah, I absolutely think
Man,
so.
we could
But
look like clowns next year. Absolute clowns.
When have I ever been
3
wrong
days.
in a sports take? When have I ever been wrong?
Okay, so before we get to the actual Super Bowl conversation, because we'll have it, we're not going to have it next week.
Not yet.
So we're going to have it now. Let's
The Super Bowl conversation?
Yeah. Shall we have the thing behind you, Casey? We've already poured our pours of this
Gentleman and a scholar.
18-year Knob Creek bourbon. I think everyone knows the Knob Creek bourbons. I think we've all had the 9.
Proof.
The-
We've all had the 9.
We've had the 9-year.
It's strong.
It's strong,
It's 100 proof.
but it's legitimately just good.
so
Like, that's a good bourbon.
Daniel, this was Daniel's splurge buy, as
Yes.
Daniel does. I also
occasion.
considered
It's a habit.
getting a splurge buy and was like, nope. Something needs to happen this weekend before we do that. And you better believe if that thing happens, you are both going to be here with your families, and it will be a rager. We're doing it right. It will be a rager. There's 3 TVs in this house and 2 kitchens. It's going to be a rager.
It's going to be so good.
Do you remember the last Super Bowl party? We had 50 people crammed in that
In the
house.
apartment.
Yes.
You know, it was the house.
Oh, you did the house?
It was the Kyle
was a
house.
Kyle
You did the
house.
Kyle house. 50
My entire
how many people
family
did we
was
have in
there.
your apartment, though?
35 the
30,
year before.
yeah.
And we had how many in
My
our
brothers were
apartment?
there.
That was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So, gentlemen, this is not a toast to any specific thing besides a very interesting, fun Seahawks season and the hopes. And that is all it is. It is not a toast to anything happening. We are not superstitioning.
Oh, 14 wins. The
To 14
rebuild of the
wins?
Seahawks. The defense being back.
Legendary
Yes.
rebuild.
Right? So,
I am so excited for this.
To the dark side.
to the
the
dark
side.
side, gentlemen.
Cheers,
As
gentlemen.
they say in Italian.
You may pick. You are either a gentleman or a scholar. That's a good bourbon nose.
It's definitely a nice oaky afterbirth.
I hate you.
Ooh, that lingers.
Smells like dried raven's blood. I'm swirling it like wine. Haven't even tasted it.
It becomes stronger on the palate.
The nose is stings the nostrils.
That's so good.
That is a long finish. That is. Oh, there's more. Wow. There's more.
A long finish?
It's a long finish.
Or there's more.
You decide.
Oh wow, that is
Yeah,
interesting.
see,
okay, hold on.
Yeah,
wait,
you
that's
know what I'm
interesting.
saying?
Okay,
so for the nose being as harsh as it is because
Yeah.
it's 100 proof,
Yeah.
you get none of that when you drink
No.
it. So it's like you take the 9.
now
and
it
then you
takes an
cut it-
attack here right up front.
Yeah.
and it does have a
It
slap
smooths out.
attack
Smooth.
because it's the 100 proof.
Compare it to the 9 though.
Oh, I know.
90% of that attack is gone.
Yep. Well, and it fades faster. I think the attack might still be the same strength, but it's just gone in an instant.
But then there's something different. There's like this rush almost once it lingers on the palate for like another like 30 seconds.
It's got a really nut-based,
finish.
more
You know
finish.
what this tastes like?
more caramel. Oh man,
This tastes like victory.
I love that.
This tastes like Sunday night. There will be a lot of Seahawks babies in 2026.
so that doesn't just have the like nice burnt caramel.
It's the cask. It's the
It is really, wood forward.
That's
That
really
is good.
full. It has a really full flavor to me.
like if you were to lick the looking at my little oak cask, what is it called? Help me.
If you try to lick your wood, I will leave this show.
This is what I'm talking about, you idiot.
Bring it down. Show and tell.
But it still checks out.
Show and tell.
Oh yeah, Nathan's moonshine. I remember this one.
If you lick this right now, Casey, it will be roughly almost as good.
I'm kind of stuffed up right now.
Man, that is a really long finish.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with that.
I really like it. Great buy, Daniel. That was really
Great buy. You know that I looked up, there were 2 bottles total anywhere near my area.
Costco or total?
No
Bevmo?
Total Wine, no Bevmo,
little
no
local
Costco.
place?
It was a local place.
Oh,
I had to find a hole in the wall for the 18, and they had 1 bottle left by the time I got there.
yeah. You know that's why that's a good buy. Is I used to do that when I
You
was
can
just
sponsor us.
Yeah, they.
Please do.
Why don't you put it right here in the middle?
Yeah.
Let's just
It's always a good idea if you're shopping for anything really, and it's almost all gone. That always tells me that. Yep, people like that product. So if I'm ever like looking and I'm like, I don't really know these red wines, and I see there's one red wine, there's like 1 bottle left, and they've all been, purchased. I'm like, that's probably a good wine. So
There was one other bottle I was looking for. That was the 18 when I walked in.
okay,
Because I looked it
The
up and I thought there was
18.
another, and it was the Elijah Craig 18. That is my favorite bourbon so far in the under a few $100 price point.
so it's everyone's saving money for February because
We're gonna have a lot of beverages.
I've been
here.
looking at a bottle of Dom, and I'm like, there's a $200 bottle of champagne.
I've not been a big fan of bourbon until you guys know what to buy.
We buy really expensive things?
exactly
And give it to you.
But
That's
the
exact-
cheap
it's-
stuff I
it
got
works.
in Scotland was just like still didn't compare like to the cheap stuff here. Like I would go back to Scotland and fly over there just to get more of that stuff.
Yes.
With
Yes.
how cheap it is. But then you bring something like this out and it's like, oh, this is great.
there is something about, because Scotland has so many, we know that
Yeah.
we've been Scotch drinkers since day one. And a lot of the Scotches, they're age statements which is what we drink, right?
Yes.
We drink single malt only most of the time, a few blendeds, but single malt
Islays.
only, that's the 12 years or longer at the minimum.
Yes.
And so for you to come in, you're like, you know what? I'm not a big whiskey guy, but here
Yeah.
it is. And that's pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
into that. Or, it's not my thing, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Like the bourbons have to be aged
Yes, they do.
so much, and
I can't
it's
To get
pretty
really
rare
good.
for that.
I can't stand these young bourbons that are out there. Like
Also, a
young
bourbon is
whippersnappers.
sweeter,
young.
which is something we know you prefer that sweeter,
Yeah.
that taste quality, I would
Yes.
say, right? And so bourbon just naturally is sweeter versus you get some of those scotches that are like the peaty Lagavulin, the
Which
Costco,
I like those. I like those still, but
the Islay single malt I have, right, which is it's not aged, but that's
this isn't as syrupy though as some of the other Kentucky bourbons that I've tried. That it just tastes like pure syrup. versus this is like, wow, has a really full body. It's still thick, but I'm like, I'm not getting this shot of syrup.
So I almost wonder if, because typically we don't do the 100 proof, right? That's just not something we do. I almost wonder if the actual good setting for 100 proof is the true like upper ages. So not 12, but like 16 plus, where you start to get really aged, and it actually just for like this one, for instance, versus the 9, completely mellows it, makes it approachable, makes it just like a long finish, and not that syrupy because it has 100 proof.
Yeah.
Yes, the Knob Creek, generally, a lot of the ones we would find are that 100 proof.
Yeah.
And so we've skipped from the unaged, non-aged statement to the 9, which is good. It's a quality bourbon, but it's too strong. If we give that to you, neat.
Yes.
That is too strong.
And that's almost too strong for, I mean, I wouldn't prefer that neat either.
Yeah.
Like,
They have a 12 and a 14 or a 15. We've skipped those. We've gone to the 18. This is embarrassingly expensive for our budgets and our incomes, but it's such a fun once in a while thing.
Yeah.
you've done the really expensive whiskeys one time, right? With your friend.
The bourbons.
The really expensive
yes.
bourbons. I've not done that. So to me, this is the best bourbon I've ever had.
It's very good.
Absolutely. This is the best bourbon I've ever had. And not only that, it's up there with my favorite things, right? So the 14 Oban, right? You know, sitting behind us. Like it is right there with it. And it's better than that KS Islay I have. Now, granted, totally different price point, right?
Right.
But like that's drinkable, that's approachable,
These are a few of my favorite
things.
Really
I almost got, and I want to one day do this, but we'll wrap up our bourbon tasting
one day
for
more.
a second.
Yes.
I would love to bring you guys
One day more.
bad.
no theater tonight, gentlemen, or limited.
We'll
theater
stop
tonight,
again,
gentlemen.
Lord.
I would love to bring you two very different unaged statements and age statement on the Penelope brand. I'd love to bring you that on the Knob Creek.
Yes.
The Elijah Craig. Like, just there are
On behalf of
ways,
Nathan's Tummy Foundation, I accept.
there are ways
I contribute to that
find
yearly.
he does, and none of us appreciate that.
Yes.
So, thank you
I cook well.
Yeah, he does.
for Nathan's toilet. Every time. All right, gentlemen, if we are to
Doing
win the
score
Super Bowl,
predictions?
here's some really interesting things. First thing is really obvious. No matter what happens if we win the Super Bowl, we will have a repeat of either of our two previous Super Bowls
Yeah.
from slightly over a decade ago.
I think I prefer going against the Patriots again, honestly.
I agree.
I
would
do
love
too.
to redeem that,
I
that
need that
memory and
redemption
that thought.
very badly. And we will run it.
That would just be like everything full circle.
When you
Yes.
said poetic earlier, I was just like, it's poetic.
Yeah.
It's healing.
It's healing.
Like the
We
Mariners,
need
the
that.
Mariners run this year was healing.
It was exciting.
Yes.
It was exciting.
Even with how it ended, it was still, for me, it was healing.
But the
Like,
Seahawks are like, we're doubling down.
yeah, the Seahawks are like,
That
no,
would be
we don't
beautiful.
mess around.
If we're against the Broncos, I feel like there is a straightforward path, and it's called destroy the poor kid who hasn't played that much.
Poor Stidham.
I don't want that. I have family connections with the Broncos, my neighbors. I do
What
not
if they had
want,
Bo Nix right now? Would you care?
No.
It does not matter.
No.
Doesn't matter.
It again, in my opinion, the Seahawks and the Rams and maybe even the 49ers, especially a healthy 49ers.
Healthy
well,
49ers.
health, yeah.
I said especially, but even without the health, I still think are the top 3 teams probably in the league. Yeah. This year. So there is a step down after that. So now you're looking at who in the AFC is the best, the best next or whatever. And it doesn't matter. That's part of the reason with the Rams conversation we're having with Darnold and his problems and all that. Like, okay, yeah, don't throw 4 interceptions and we'll probably win.
Don't throw. I mean, honestly, don't throw 3.
Please don't throw 3.
If he threw 2, I still think this game is still decently winnable.
Absolutely.
I
2
mean,
is still
he cut
very
his
winnable.
he cut his interceptions in half the second game. I believe he can
And
cut
that's a
them
pretty
in half
outrageous
again.
statement. Again,
If he throws one or less,
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah.
if
I
Drew
believe so.
Lock goes in there and he is 14 of 21, throws one touchdown, no interceptions, do we win the game?
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly it. I don't think it matters with Darnold. He just can't absolutely screw us over.
Yes.
Like
But this
C.J. Stroud
defense
did
is
to the
so
Texans.
That's exactly it. That defense for the Texans was so good. The only situation I think with the Patriots won was if Stroud did exactly what he did, which when's the last time you saw a quarterback do that in the playoffs? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
There's a
Four?
meltdown. There's not 4
No.
every season. There's a meltdown each season.
I mean, that's bad.
I mean,
That's really bad.
was Darnold the meltdown last season?
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Darnold was and that's what I'm saying. People are like, he's going to turn into a pumpkin. I'm like, where? He turned into okay, sure. He turned into a pumpkin against the Rams in LA 3 months ago, right? And then he threw 2 picks and was really good in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
And then he's been efficient and fine in every game besides that.
Yep.
That's all he needs
Agreed.
to do.
Yep.
So your most likely Super Bowl competitors, we won't go outcomes.
Super Bowl competitors. Okay, so it's either the Rams or the Seahawks from the NFC, and it's the Broncos or the Patriots from the AFC. Most likely, I would put first at Seahawks, Patriots,
Agreed.
and then after that, I would put Rams, Patriots, and then probably after that, I would do Seahawks, Broncos. Yeah,
And then Rams, Broncos.
exactly.
Kids, you're the same?
Exact same.
Exact same here. Okay. Well, if it happens to be your most likely outcome, you think it will happen how?
That's a good question. Look at the AFC, which is what I don't know as well, right? More of a national perspective, right? But they have the runner-up for the MVP or possible MVP. I don't know. Who knows, right? So one of 2 of the best quarterbacks remaining, and quarterbacks usually have a big indicator of how you go in the playoffs, right? And they have a good defense, right? And so defense travels well, and they have the quarterback, and they have a head coach, while less experienced, right? Has that Patriots heritage, like knows
And
how
he's
to win.
gotten a team to the number
Yes.
1 seed
And
just a
he
few years
has-
ago.
Yes. And I would say we're all, well, I am a variable fan,
Yes.
in general, right? I just think he's a good coach and was with a bad org. And so
Yep.
it's like, okay. Yeah, I think that path forward is pretty clear for the Patriots. Of course, the Broncos could win. Like, I don't think it's unlikely they win. Like,
Sean Payton has the experience too.
Sean
Yep.
Payton also
Yep.
has the experience, right? And it's a number 1 seed with that home field advantage. The Broncos have been very good at home,
Yes.
right? And then looking over at the Seahawks, right? We're talking about, if you really are getting nerdy and number crunching, right? Some of what the Seahawks have done this year, not maybe everything, they have been better than the Legion of Boom. And the stats you start to look at are really, really freaky. I mean, it's like the last 6 teams to put up this kind of run defense went to the Super Bowl and won. You know, it's that kind of thing. Or
Yeah.
like the last 7 teams with this kind of level, 6 of the 7 went to the Super Bowl and won. And the one that lost was like the weird NFC Championship game, you know, I don't know, the 2023 Ravens or something, where you're like, what the heck? How did they lose that game? You know, that I saw someone say, like, this is a historically one of the greatest teams of all time, which made me very uncomfortable and nervous. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, stop. Nope, don't say that.
We're not used to that here in Seattle.
I
We're not.
I don't want that before the NFC champ, let alone before the Super Bowl. Say that after the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Let's write the story however we want if we win the Super Bowl or we get to the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that path forward is obvious, and the Rams' path forward is also just so obvious. Like, you have the MVP level quarterback, you have McVay, who is, if he beats the Seahawks away and 3 road wins, I think it's hard to argue he's not the best head coach in the league, right? And he's already been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1, right? He has the most playoff wins, 10 playoff wins for any coach who's under 40. Madden, for instance, had 5, right? So it's literally doubled what Madden did in those years. So it's such a strong argument for the Seahawks or the Rams to get there. And then the Broncos and the Patriots is just, again, to me, an afterthought, because it's so clear that the NFC should be like an 80-20 favor whoever gets to the Super Bowl.
There you go.
NFL ebbs and flows. We were talking about 5 years ago how powerful the AFC was with how many
The dynasty of the Chiefs,
between
right?
the Bengals were coming on the scene with Burrow and
absolutely.
Chase. You had the Ravens still competing with Lamar, and then Josh Allen was like starting to become he's actually good. And we were like, who's coming out of the NFC anymore now? And now it's starting to flip. It looks
And I
like.
think there's a non-zero correspondence
Yes.
between not just the quarterbacks in the AFC getting the bag,
Yes.
but the bag actually hitting, because that's different, right?
Yes.
It's not
It
just
is.
that a quarterback gets paid. It's when does that really kick in? Because it's normally like a year or two later
Yeah.
that the first massive cap hit
Yep.
happens, where it's 40,
Yeah.
50 million
Yep.
against the cap. And so it's Josh Allen, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Lamar Jackson, et cetera, Joe Burrow. So like as those cap hits a year or two after they sign their contract
Yep.
kick in, now what do they have weakness-wise? They have a roster issue. They have a limitation. And one of the benefits that Matt Stafford's year by year it's a big cap hit contract is that they can spread out everything else, right?
So nice.
They're only on the books for 1 year, so there's no like real dead cap, or their dead cap is spread out, and so it's not really that big of a cap hit in the first place.
And so they can sign in Adams,
Correct.
right? And Puka is not paid,
right.
so
And so there is a
and
little
the
bit of
defense
this.
is not paid either.
Yeah, the storylines of why is the AFC falling off a cliff?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not saying it's-
reciprocal, right.
no.
It kind of it's
It is.
Cyclical,
It
and
is.
I'm not saying it's because any of them actually fell off a cliff.
No.
I don't think Mahomes got that much worse this year. He got injured, but
He
like
was
that's
playing.
it.
He was playing well.
Right. I don't think Lamar really fell off that much of a
Kelsey
like he
is
got
45
he was
years
injured,
old,
yeah.
and he's a little busy
Josh
with
Allen
Taylor
did
Swift.
not fall
Yeah.
off a cliff. Like
His owner did.
Joe Burrow got
Hit his
injured.
head
Turns
pretty
out his
good.
owner's always been there, and he's
Oh,
been
my
crazy. We just didn't know it.
And that's what Sean McDermott was playing defense against.
McDermott.
So 3 of the 4 big QBs had some significant injuries, and the one who didn't was pushing in. They just didn't quite make it because of either eternal NFL curses, or because honestly the bag hits, and then
And then you see
your
coaching changes
roster
now.
and your coaching change.
Ravens and Bills, coaches are gone. I mean, you thought Zach Taylor. I thought Zach Taylor was going to be gone potentially. They're keeping that whole
Steelers
coaching
also,
staff.
right?
Yep,
Steelers.
Steelers, big change.
You look at the
How long
Chargers
is Andy
also.
Reid going to stay? Like, it's still just a constant question with that.
How many
but,
Super Bowls did they win?
a lot.
It was a lot. It wasn't as many as the
I think
Pats,
he
but
could
it was
retire
a
pretty
lot.
happy right now.
He's fine.
He and Mahomes are just fine.
But I look at the Chargers also, and like they have big quarterback hits, right? So like
Yeah.
Harbaugh is inheriting. It's not the same as the Seahawks,
No.
where we didn't have that much. Like we already had the
we
rust thing
have
that
a
we.
lot to play with.
yeah.
We do.
Well,
and this
and
is going to be
now
interesting.
We're gonna sign Shaheed.
Okay,
right?
so this is where the conversation turns.
Okay,
This is the conversation turn. Okay, so
we
there's
go.
some exciting stuff, and we're going to have to somehow constrain it to like, another 15 minutes, and that's probably it. But like, let's think on what happens next. So whether we win or not, we know that we pick in the draft, somewhere in that 20 to 32 area.
Yes.
So there's no real questions of what's going to happen there. We're picking at the end of each round.
yeah.
We know that. We do have questions around extensions. We have questions around free agent signs. We have
Yes.
questions around how to fill holes. We have questions around, are there a couple of guys who might leave and a couple of things to fill in? So what do we want to happen? What do you guys want to see happen?
I think the Seahawks have that amazing flexibility to actually pay for what they actually need. We talked about the foundation of this roster with actually investing in the right places on our O-line and D-line. And now it's like, we have this money to now look and evaluate. Zach Charbonnet's not going to be available most of all next year, if really at all.
So that was actually a question I was going to ask you. is
Yeah.
Huge
When
loss.
can Sharps come back? When will Sharps likely come back?
The soonest you comfortably want somebody back, it would be 9 months. So that you're looking at an October time frame, maybe probably most
And you
likely
won't be 100%
most
probably.
most likely late November, early December. And we see this with every ACL injury that comes back. They are not themselves yet. They usually need a full year,
Yep.
at least half a year.
And that's
to
a
get
scary
back
one
in it.
for running backs too, because
Exactly.
they do not always get back.
No, they
AKA
do not.
Cam Akers, who's
Yes.
currently on the roster. oddly, but-
Thankfully, I haven't seen any reports of any meniscus issues. So it seems like a straightforward ACL, which is not a crazy sort of rehab. Meniscus issues that can cause like a delay in some of the rehab. Now you have the question of, well, Ken Walker's potentially showing out in the playoffs. We have this need. I know you don't like paying running backs, but if he plays well on Sunday, let's say we lose, but he another 120-yard rushing game and maybe 2 touchdowns. Has he earned his spot into maybe that, at least that $10 million contract area? You're talking about Kyron Williams is at 11. James Cook just got paid 11.5 a year. Jonathan Taylor's at 14. I think he's under Kyron at this point. Aaron Jones is the next highest paid at $10 million.
Yeah, I think of those running backs,
that's the first need, at least.
He's definitely earned the right to not be paid, just like every other running back, because they all suck, and they're all terrible, and they should all go home.
Yeah,
but jokes aside, I understand the logic, and I will just continue to hammer home the point that if you go through every Super Bowl winner, and expand it to every Super Bowl appearance, and expand that time frame from the last 5 years to the last 10 years to the last 15, like go as far as back as you want. Tell me when the last time someone was paying a percentage of their cap or a top 5 to 10 or whatever, right? Put a label on it. Contract for running backs in the NFL. And I think we already did something with this, some study with this, and it was essentially like the last time a top 8 paid running back assisted in the win of a Super Bowl or in the appearance of a Super Bowl would have been like Derrick Henry in 2019.
Actually, I think
who didn't appear.
I think it's the 49ers.
Besides Saquon.
49ers, McCaffrey. They because they appeared in the Super Bowl how many years ago? 2 or 3?
So Saquon is the one that is clear.
Saquon is the clear one.
McCaffrey is the other one.
Yeah.
Who's, is it 3 years ago now, 4 years ago? It was 4.
Against the Chiefs?
Chiefs, Niners.
I think it was 4. I think it was 4. 2021.
21. Yeah. So those two are the ones. And I think we would agree, despite the fact that both of those were there in terms of top running back contracts.
Yes.
Their cap hits weren't the same as they are now.
Yes.
And K9 isn't those guys.
No, 100%.
He's great, but he's not even close to that tier.
And that's why I suggest kind of that price range. Again, like you're offering, we have $60 million. We have all the
and again, I think I'm gonna just continue to make the point that if you exempt running backs that are clearly different from literally every single other running back on the face of the planet, and there are like 2.
Yes.
No one else who gets paid in the top anything.
No. Here's what I like, though. And Ken Walker's 25 years old. Where for a free agent running back that you could
just turned 25.
Just turned 25. You're going to look at the free agent running backs that are going to come on this year.
I think if you go that route,
where are you going to get that kind of talent acquisition to be able to fill that kind of hole that Walker's now filling for us in the playoffs, especially with Sharp being out?
There's 2 specific answers I'd love to give. Number one is if, and we're not doing this right now, if we look at the current projected free agent running back bunch, this is the strongest free agent running back class in years. It's the deepest. It's huge. And you have the draft.
Yeah.
So you have 2 massive avenues.
Ways to go.
Which should theoretically lower the value of all of the running backs on the market because there's so many. I mean, you could bring in Tyler Algier, who had 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
And then had 800-plus yard seasons behind Bijan. Like, that's an option.
It is.
And he's a Charbonnet-style runner.
Yes.
Right. The second thing I think I'd just say is, like, running backs are a little scheme fitty.
Yeah, right? They are.
They're a little bit reliant on that. And so part of me wants to think I'm fine with whatever we pay, kind of outside the top 5 or 10.
I kind of don't want to be paying, again, above like 10 to 11 million.
Sure. I'm fine outside the top 5 or 10 at the position if the coach considers them a scheme fit.
Yeah.
So,
all right, I got some numbers for you.
Cool.
Okay, so you're the GM. Both of you are the GM. I'll ask both you this question. Rashid Shaheed just ran some numbers through some AI, right, just to see, give you some Hypotheticals, okay?
Asking the machine.
Asking the machine. All right, it's fine. It'll take over. It'll be our grandkids, so we don't have to deal with that. It's fine.
Great Okie after.
Seattle Seahawks have agreed to terms with Rashid Shaheed, 37 years old right now, okay? Or sorry, 27 years old right now. What? He's a really old returner.
He can run fast.
27 years old. Hey, you can still run fast as someone in your upper 30s, okay?
No.
At least if you're going against 10-year-olds. Rashid Shaheed, Seattle Seahawks have agreed to a 3-year deal worth $45 million, 22 guaranteed. It's going to work out to about 14.5 per year.
Where's that place that
deal?
in the
I'm looking
wide
right
receivers?
now.
Where's that place that?
Where does it place it? It's wide receiver 2 money, essentially. I'm not giving exact stats on
Approximate wide receiver 2 money.
wide receiver 2 money for an all-pro returner,
I'm
right?
looking.
And a wide receiver 2. That's how he operates on the team right now, essentially.
Oh, that places him right under Cooper Kupp, actually. Cooper Kupp's getting paid $15 million a year right now.
At wide receiver what?
2 money.
He's also wide receiver 2.
No, I'm saying
he was
like
paid like a wide receiver
of the
too.
top wide receivers, APY.
Oh, what? Where is
what-
he at in
what
the
rank
I don't
in
know.
that?
Oh man, it's down there. It's 1, 2.
But would you make that deal?
Only if I know where it is in comparison to the rest of the wide
Okay.
receivers.
Casey?
I'm counting.
While he counts
We're
the bat.
outside the top 24.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah. I mean, literally wide receiver 2.
We're looking at about like wide receiver 28 to 30.
Yeah,
And
right.
he
I'm willing
also
to do
is
that.
the returner, so he does add value.
Well, that's the only reason I'm willing
There.
to do that.
Okay.
I'm not willing to do that because
he
he's a
will
wide receiver.
be, again, he'll be 28, 29, and 30 in
Yep.
those contracts.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys 3 names. Do you think Shaheed is better than Christian Kirk?
No, they're on the same.
Do you think that's
Different,
Yes,
different
because
types of
of-
wide receivers. but
Yes, because of the return capabilities.
Do you think he's better than Jerry Jeudy?
Yes, because of the return capabilities.
he is not as good a wide receiver as either of those.
Do you think
so-
he is better than Jacoby Myers?
Absolutely not.
Yes,
So-
because of the return capabilities. Again,
So all 3 of those players are getting paid above $17.5 million.
So yeah,
a year,
Jacoby though is
annually.
the only like Jacoby is a outside inside, right? Kirk is an inside and slot.
Yep.
Judy's technically a number 1 who functions as a number 2. He's an X. Like Shaheed is a burner, so he's not that valuable as a wide receiver. Like, and that's my point is the entire value he's making up
is in the special teams.
is literally special teams. So
and
I'm
that
happy to
is
pay
valuable.
outside top 24 wide receiver money for an all-pro returner who
Adds
also
value.
is
Yeah.
a wide receiver on the field. I'm not happy to pay that for a wide receiver. Period.
Is it realistic that we likely cut Cooper after this season if we made that kind
what's
of
the
deal?
dead cap?
I don't think there's any dead cap after this season.
Yeah, because of how his contract and his age and both the injury considerations for how
I
that
thought it was a
contract
3-year that looked like a 2-year that was practically a 1-year
That
with
sounds
dead
right.
cap in
That's
year
what I
2.
was.
Okay, next question I have though. Seattle breaking news.
Here we go.
Seattle Seahawks have signed Ken Walker
There it
to
is.
a 4-year, $48 million deal. Average is $12 million a year,
I don't
guaranteed
like that.
$30 million with 2 years of void. The final 2 years can be voided.
12
No.
million.
So it is essentially a 2-year deal worth $24 million
I don't
with
really
60 plus in cap space.
I
right
don't
now.
like it, but I could see them doing it because of the way he's playing right now and because of, again, the need. And I know you say there's a strong running back class, but then we also look at the schemes.
Well, and because of the schemes, I don't think he's a good scheme fit.
You
right?
don't
Like,
think so?
I think he's a much worse scheme fit than Sharps, right? That's been my point the entire time. Is that Sharps follows the blocking, right? That's why he's good in the interior. That's why he runs power and pull. That's why he runs behind inside zone. That's why he runs like a lot of the goal line work.
Yeah.
Ken is about getting him in space where he can do incredible, wonderful things.
Yes.
In those one-on-ones where he can be on the outside, where he can do the sweep. Like, you have to run him outside zone. You have to run him past the tackle. Like, you have to have a guy out doing a lead block and then let him get into space. Those kind of things where he's explosive and incredible. But how many negative plays does he take as well?
Yeah.
How many drive killers does he run into as well? Many. So, like, how many times does he try to improvise? Right, and not do
I think
the
he
thing.
actually has been better at that.
I
lately.
totally agree that he's improved, and
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I'm going to leave it up to the coach to decide that piece. So a little bit of like, if they sign him to a 448, I will be really sad.
I kind of would be
That's
upset
James
too.
Cook.
And I don't.
I don't think. I think James Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I.
But
I've-
if they sign him to a 440 and they picked him over this massive free agent crop, I will make my peace.
I think 10 million a year is doable, and because you're again 11 million is Kyron, that's 44 basically million a year. I would love to see a 2 to 3 year deal, obviously, because realistically, like that's what we're looking at for our Super Bowl window.
Right. And my favorite outcome here is he gets a 448. That is a 2 for 19 guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's cap hit 7, 12.
Which is
and
not
then it's
far
gone.
off what I
Yes.
proposed also.
Yeah.
But
Right.
my point is, like, if it's not even 24 in the first 2 years, right? If it's under 20 in the first 2 years, and then they can get out with no
That
dead
makes
cap,
sense, yeah.
now I'm in. If it's the 2 for 12, right? Like if it's 24 mil, there's some soft cutoff there that we don't have to debate. It's just kind of like progressively more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I would say if I was a betting man, well, Rashid is for sure back, and they're going to pay him wide receiver 2 money,
100%.
which I don't love, but also we literally would not be where we're at without him.
Yep.
So Leon Washington once returned, I think, 3 touchdowns in a game for the Seahawks in 2010 and single-handedly won a game. So you have those games where that happens.
Yes.
I probably also do the Walker deal for the 2 years, even though it's more per year that I would like, simply because I think if we do that, it prevents John Schneider from drafting a running back in the first round, which he is more than willing to do. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So I'm probably doing the Ken deal on the basis that we at least have him as the lead running back for next year, knowing that that year after you have Charbonnet hopefully back, right? And then you have some options as far as what you do, because right now I don't like how thin that is. Now, I will say this. Daniel's absolutely right as far as a lot of running backs being on the market, right? And you do have the draft. So if this is something where they don't truly value him around whatever number he wants, right? If he's saying, I want 15 a year, and they're like, no, we're not doing it, right? I think they do pivot pretty quickly to one of the other running backs available. Do I think there's a drop-off? Yes, I do. Absolutely. This will all come down to scheme fit, and we can't know that without being Mike McDonald.
So that's actually maybe even an interesting point too, because the whole Schneider drafting running backs really high. He's drafted 1 in the first round.
Yeah, just like he's drafted
I don't think that was
2
a
offensive
Schneider pick.
linemen.
And once again, I'm essentially saying once he took personnel back from Pete, per the rumors
Yeah.
that appear to have been confirmed as of 3 seasons ago, I'm blank slating everything before that, as Schneider didn't draft that. No, he didn't, right? Like, he didn't draft K9. That was Pete Carroll. You know who he drafted? Charbonnet, who is a scheme fit, who follows the
Okay,
blocks.
so second round.
Right,
He'll
like-
take him in the second
Yeah,
round.
but
And
It's-
if
it's
he's
still- I
picking
don't
one
love
at
it,
pick
but-
64, I'm happy with that, because that's pick 64.
My thought is we
I'm
have the
not
cap
certain that
space, so I'm like,
We need to. but
whatever.
That's
We
where
have our
I'm at
tackle
too.
signed, we have the
the
D tackles
flexibility.
signed.
So that
Not to say splurge
for
on
2
money.
years.
Yeah.
that reasoning is what gets people into cap holes.
Yeah.
When you say, "Oh, we've got the cap space, let's spend it," until year 2, where you don't have enough cap space to sign the one guy you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
the one free agent who's actually worth anything, or the 2 guys you want to bring to your team from the market and you don't have the room, or the extension you want to give the guy and you have to make it really funky and he doesn't really want that. Like those kind of things. That's how you get into the holes.
There is
mean, you're
that.
not wrong.
There is that, but then I mean, again, you're seeing Kenneth Walker almost play himself into this kind of situation too, where it's like there's a certain value behind that. There's a certain value behind Shaheed basically causing us to
If Ken Walker
Come
does
over
what
that
Hugh
game with the
Millen
Rams.
thinks he's going to do, which is like 3 touchdowns, 130 against the Rams, and wins that NFC Championship game,
Look, if he wins the next 2 games, I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Like, but you gave the example of he goes for 120 and we lose.
No.
I would no longer
Nope,
want that.
I'm not doing
Yeah.
that.
I don't care
Yeah.
if
And-
we're gonna pay guys to help us lose. I don't want that,
If
even if they're
there
incredible.
I mean,
is-
if he runs 120, we're not losing because of Kenneth
we're losing
Walker.
because of him and every other player on the team because they're the players on the field. You didn't help me win.
I think if there's a dark horse
Right,
MVP from this game coming up, it is Ken Walker.
Yes.
Looking at just the offense,
Yes.
Yeah.
the defense could destroy, and there can be multiple people. But if there's one player, it's not Sam Darnold, it's Ken Walker, who's going to run for like 130
Yeah.
and 3 touchdowns.
And let me be clear, that's not necessarily a fair statement from me.
Yeah.
And I am looking at this and saying, I'm willing to do this jump in with that pay or with this pay only if you win too. I don't really
you
care
have to win.
about
Yeah.
production.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like
At
you
100
can
He has to be
produce,
a
but if you're
contributing to the
losing,
winning, yeah.
you know, there's a little bit of this like
He's the RB1. Like, there's nothing else in the way, and you have a quarterback who's somewhat suspect.
Because
Like
there's 2 sides here. There's almost like if you produce and you lose, or you produce and you win. I'm willing to pay you if you produce and you win.
Yeah.
If you don't produce, now I'm no longer willing to pay. Period. Because you are we are relying.
This
on
is
you.
your moment.
We need you.
Yes.
You're
This
the
is
guy.
Shaheed,
Right.
Winning you 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Final question, then we probably need to move on, right? So I personally sign K9, especially if he wins this Sunday. I re-sign Shaheed, right? Even though I don't love that. The last one is Woolen, whose contract's up. So we're going to say, I don't know where he slots with this, but it's going to be total value is 4 years, 90 million. His average value is going to be 21 million. Guaranteed is going to be 50. That cap it is going to be around 8 to 10 a year, and that would put him at the number between 5 and 8.
That would be like, it would be top 9, basically.
Yeah, top 9 cornerback, basically. Pay.
So that's a good one because I have no idea how to feel about that.
I'm not doing it.
I wouldn't do it.
Mike McDonald's supposed to be the genius he is, and he's taking Josh Jones and making him good. That is, to me, where you draft a cornerback in the 2nd round. You pay K9 and you use that pick on the cornerback, right? You have time to draft and develop because the defense is so good. You've Spoon already as who should be technically your CB1, right? So you don't need to pay Woolen, who's been really good to end this year, but we've seen he's inconsistent.
In a specific package, too.
And yeah, I just think with that kind of contract, also, you're going to likely get a 3rd-round comp in the year that follows. Again, the whole defense runs off Mike, not off the back end of the corners. You pay the D-line. You don't pay the back end. You're going to pay Spoon, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm curious if we are going to pay Spoon at a nickel corner rate instead of an outside corner rate, which I think is low, and I don't
won't
think we're going to
factor.
pay him into a top 10.
I think we will.
I don't. Reek Woolen, I think we probably pay well outside the top 15.
He should be.
Which
I just don't think on the free agent market.
I think on the free agent market he will be
That's-
paid outside the top 15 still.
You think so? Okay, interesting.
I really do think his ups and downs constantly in a great system are going to cause people to look
People
at him and
pay
be
for
like,
corners.
okay.
The bad teams make.
But the moment he gets that contract and gets cut after year 1,
You know how much
and
the
they're left with that
49ers
gap,
are...
it's big.
You know how much the 49ers are paying Lenore?
It's a lot.
$18 million a year.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
It's so funny.
And he is
that's the
an
reality.
average corner.
That's a top 15
He's
contract.
very good.
That's
I will
a top
give him
15
this.
contract.
He's very good at headbutts.
He's very
He's
good.
very good at doing
Very
that and not
good.
He's
getting a
consistently-
penalty, right?
head buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's consistently average.
Yeah.
He can't go up against the wide receiver 1s, and he's good against the wide receiver 2-ish.
So again, I think if we were to play general manager and ignore reality for a bit,
I'm listening.
we would draft, find, free agent, whatever. We would pay the top O line,
Yep.
and we would pay the top D line,
Yes.
1,000%.
and we would say screw everyone else, And like
Correct.
you probably pay a weapon of some kind,
Yeah.
or two.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you probably pay, like a tight end, but a tight end, even the high end ones aren't that big.
Who
Cap hit,
cares?
so
Find
no
your
one cares.
mid-contract quarterback,
Right.
or your rookie
and you
quarterback.
kind of find like value budget guys on essentially the rest of
I
the
want to pay
roster.
Barner. Like I can't
Yes,
wait to
I
pay
can't
him.
wait to pay
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
Like that's really
Here's
what
your
you
$13
do.
million a
Have we
year for
paid? We haven't paid Jones, right? Or have we? Yes, we did. Last season.
which who?
Which Jones?
Ernest Jones. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
he's
just paid him
signed.
last season.
Yeah,
He's
so
gotten
that's the
3
thing
years.
with the Woolen debate that I'm just not comfortable doing that because he's not been consistent for one whole season. He's not been consistent.
Well, and again, this is more of like a Mike Mack decision, right? Like if Kubiak's still here next year, and he says we're
me
going to
K9.
keep K9,
You're keeping
then we
K9.
keep K9. Oh, whatever.
Which Kubiak will be here next season.
Which is
Are
exciting.
you Is this for sure? Is this a true?
No, I'm just predicting
Predicting it?
that because the head coaches are getting. I mean, half of them have been filled. It's
been
and
awesome.
We know owners get anxious.
Yes.
Right. The longer they're seeing these head
Yes.
coaches go, the more they are waiting to sign.
need
And
to-
the
so funny
bad
because
teams are left usually.
the head coaches do need to be signed early,
They do.
Absolutely.
but the offensive coordinators don't. Right? Like the head coaches can find the offensive coordinator on their time frame. If they know the guy is still in, the passing
You'll pick him
coordinator,
up,
or
whatever.
the
Yeah.
whatever, like they can pick him up later.
No, I agree.
But Clint, because he's an OC who can really only be requested to be an HC,
Yeah.
he's safe.
And again, they can't announce. I don't think that he could be the next head coach. They can interview next week.
Yep.
Right.
They can
if
do
we
a
move
second
on.
interview
They can do
if they did a
second
first interview.
but they cannot do a hire.
Right.
Right. So
Interesting.
and that's what made this stuff with Schneider so
Yeah.
interesting is that we waited
Waited.
until they lost. We had to wait, right? We
And
had to,
then we got McDonald.
but even then it still took time.
After that,
Like it
yeah.
took time because we had to do multiple interviews and yeah. So
Oh,
I
man.
think Kubiak will be back.
huge.
I thought the Falcons was the
If
shoe-in
Mike
and-
Mack says he wants Tariq back, like that speaks to something to
That
me.
does.
Because Mike has seen him at his highs and lows. I don't think he will.
because I don't think Woolen is a Mike guy.
Nope.
He literally was benched. He's played himself off the bench. Like Mike can't sit
did.
him. He's a 6'4" freak show. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna play him, but he is everything negative you want to say about Gen Z. And I'm not generally negative against generations. They're fine. It's whatever.
It's a nice jersey you have.
It is. It's literally Woolen, but he is everything negative about Gen Z. Right? It's the smoking the cigars for the last Pete Carroll season. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
He's
Satisfied
he's a
with.
nice guy. I think he's a very chill guy. Does he have the dog to be like the best corner in the league and is worth a top 15?
Probably not. No. Okay. Because we're going to run out of space and time and such.
When
Casey,
Yes.
9:50.
any big finishing thoughts? Things we didn't cover that you wanted to bring up in 30 seconds or less.
I think we are going to make Stafford finally feel the pressure from the dark side. I think I brought it up earlier. I think Stafford's going to get sacked more than once this game finally. And I think that is going to be the key to victory. That is going to be the key. If we can put pressure on Stafford through the game and actually hit him, we are going to win this game.
Yeah, and I think my prediction is K9 is going to run over them. Yes. I do think this is literally the breakout game of his career.
Yes.
I'm calling for like 133 touchdowns. Like that's going to be he just did it.
That's the bourbon.
That's no.
130 yards.
Yes,
And
and three
three
touchdowns.
And three. Okay.
We
okay.
heard the words 133 touchdowns.
You know, why not? Why not? My score prediction, I just pulled it up, was the Seahawks win 30-27 in another overtime.
Ooh.
But I'm feeling more confident right now. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the Seahawks win like more of like a 27-17 or 27-20 type of game, right? I just don't see Stafford doing what he did before, where Mike has been very clear, like, yep, that was on me. We screwed it up 4 days, and I tried to probably, give them a doctorate in defense, and we just can't do that. So I think they win. I think it's nerve-wracking. This is going to be a 2013-2014 championship type of win.
We are going to have such a big party.
And you won't be invited. Daniel?
I am terrified. I'm just terrified.
Come to the confidence room. Here we will.
I think this is as much of a, I won't say toss-up, as a competitive match as it could possibly be, because I think both teams get it. They are going to beat the AFC.
Yeah.
Not necessarily handily, not necessarily easily, not necessarily straightforward.
You're wrong. It will be literally
I hope
a
it's that.
bloodfest.
I hope it's that.
It will be a slaughter.
I think if the Seahawks get there, it'll be a slaughter.
It will be. I think if the Rams get there, it'll be a slaughter.
I don't think
it'll be a slaughter,
but I think it'll be
NFC slaughter.
a picking. All right. I do think they get it though.
Yes.
They get the stakes, and so I think there might be a tiny bit of desperation on both sides. Sam to win the big one
In Seattle.
in Seattle.
In Lumen, we have never lost. We are 3-0.
I love it.
All right,
Mike
I'm
McDonald
I'm
is
in the
a
feels.
hammerhead shark.
I think we win, but I think we win in a way that makes me like march around my house angrily multiple times and try to yell, but in a whisper so I don't wake up a baby.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't care how
Just
we
like-
win.
This game's being at 3:30 in the afternoon.
I don't care if the refs pick up the ball and run it into
often
the
a baby
end zone.
sleeps?
Nope.
A lot. Every 2.5 hours. He'll
He'll
be
be up.
sleeping for another.
In
He'll be up
2005,
to watch
the refs
season.
He'll be
screwed
up to
us of a
watch.
Super Bowl. I don't care if the refs pick up the ball and run it into our end zone and just randomly stand up and award us a touchdown.
Yep.
Give me the W
Give me
in
the
any
W.
way possible.
All right.
Fine McVay out of the stadium.
Then with that, we say screw the Rams.
Yep.
And that
Go
Knob
Hawks.
Creek was really good. And go Hawks.
Let's get it.
Oh, man.
Hawks.
Well, for all of us here at the Seattle Football Podcast, Holy Catfish.
Holy catfish.
You don't know the power of the
dark
side.
Good evening.